Hey team, so first thing before we go into the video, which is a really cool one, it's a podcast that I listen to and we're going to go into and how we're going to start applying this to the business. Please subscribe and please like the video, it'd be a huge help to the channel. So, this is a podcast I got recommended from a friend, Dustin. Thank you for making me listen to this because as much as I didn't want to take time to listen to it, it actually gave some pretty cool insights. So, there were many topics. The most important ones, don't worry about that, of this that they covered was the mindset shift from going to $200 average jobs to $2,000 average jobs. So right now we sit in the middle of this. We're about 550 to 600. That's about what our average job is. We've been in business for 3 months. We have the biggest job that we've had, I believe, is about $1,400. We've had $2,000 clients. It has happened, but never at the same time. So I haven't had that mindset shift of quoting someone that much. So our minimum, if you did not know, our minimum for a job is 200, and the max I believe we have done is a 1410. So, and our average is about 550, 600. So, within this podcast, they talked about his story, how long he's been doing it, how the first year they did, when he committed fully to it, they did about $100,000, and then they grew that up to like 500 or 100 to 600,000 in like 3 years, which is where I would love to be in about 3 years. That would be awesome. So, and to do that, we need about $2,000 average jobs. So, just going through, there are a couple of important things. These are the topics. This is like 80% of the topics that I thought were the most important, and then there were like 3 that I felt I could actually apply. So the mindset shift is something I've already done, but not to this level. So this mindset shift, when they're talking about this, is saying that how do you expect to get a $2,000 job if you've never quoted a $2,000 job? That got me thinking like, okay, that makes sense. Because to get a $2,000 job, you have to offer a $2,000 job. And if you offer it and they say no, you have to keep offering it to get one. These companies that do these jobs are like 40% close rates. So out of 10, they get 4 of them. So you can't just not keep trying after you fail the first time, especially if it's your first time offering one. So although I have a very good mindset shift, the mindset for the business, I need to shift it to keep increasing this. These quotes. Now, one of the things they talk about, I know I do a really bad job about, is offering value. Now, this offering value is different than maybe what you're thinking of. What he was talking about is doing a disservice to your customers. So this is talking about that for us, we should be very good at upselling, and it's the reason why our jobs are usually a little bit bigger, because we have window cleaning, gutter cleaning, pressure washing, now solar panel cleaning. We have a range of services that can clean the entire exterior of a house. We're figuring out how to do rust removal. And the thing is, customers don't know you can do that unless you tell them. So what I've had difficulty doing, it's really stupid when you say it out loud, is not offering to do something because you feel the client is going to say no. This is how you get to that $2,000 job. Because if I averaged out how much every service I do costs, it'd be like $4,000 to do a roof, a house, their windows, their gutters, their deck, their fences. Like, it would be like $4,000 in every single house that I do. So why is my ticket price so low then? It's because this is maybe 1 to 2, 1.5 services. This is just exterior windows and then maybe like an extra $100 job added. Or maybe it's interior windows with gutters. It's $200-$300 services. That's why it's that much. If you get 5 different things in there, or simply just start charging more, you can get that higher. And so the way he talks about it and the way that he delivers is Chris says, you're doing a disservice to your customers if you have something that can help them and you don't offer it. If you are doing a window cleaning, you look up and you see those little plants growing out of their gutters and you're like, cool. He was a little stingy about the windows. I don't think he's going to buy it. I'm not going to bring it up. You're doing a disservice to your customer by not bringing it up. Okay? He almost talks about it as like it's criminal to do that. You are there to help them. You need to keep helping them. The worst thing they can say is no. And if they don't say no, you have another $300 job. So this is definitely one that I think I can work on a ton. And I think it'd add a lot of money to the business. Because I get to the job, I'm like, I landed, I'm like, but I don't want to lose the client, so I don't ask them that much more. It's like, I've already landed the job. If I'm already doing the job, this should be easy. I should just keep asking. Obviously, I don't want to be annoying about it, but only ask. He said it, you're doing a disservice if you make them worried about something they shouldn't be worried about, like, oh, your house is really dirty when it's not, to wash it, versus your gutters are clogged. Let me help you fix it. Very different. So that's what he's talking about here, something I think I can definitely work on. The other one, I don't need to work on at all. This is just me telling you and agreeing with him. Quoting in person is so much better than doing it online or over the phone. If someone calls you or texts you and asks you to do a quote, and I learned this really early on, I was very lucky to learn it early on, but it also just makes sense with just how people work. We're social creatures. Why would you, if you have the ability to, because maybe you're just too busy, maybe your business is so big that you can't physically be at every single location, but why would you be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go on Google Maps and quote it for you right now, and send them a number, versus you going, walking around the house with them, getting to know their pain points, why they even called you, getting to build that connection. They see your face, they see your body language, they see how you talk. You've already built that connection. You could talk to them for 20 minutes. All right, Chris said he talks to them for 45 minutes, just his opening. That's insane. I've never done that, but you can talk to them for like 20 minutes. I think if you talk to a client for over 15 minutes, without just talking to them for 15 minutes, you close the job. You have built such a big connection, you can't make over a 5-minute combo on the phone, because no one wants to be on the phone for more than like 5 minutes. So, quoting online, you build that connection. Something we do very well on. I think that's why we have grown so rapidly, is we can build those connections, especially if you want those people to call you back in the future, which is where I'm a little nervous for next year, because even though I have good reviews, I'm like, the people that didn't leave the reviews, I'm like, are they going to call me back next year? I don't know, but doing in person builds that connection with people. So, and on to the next thing. So, these two I think I have a better understanding of, especially this, but I could do a little bit better in this. This, hiring the right salesperson. So, I'm actually in the process of doing this, and Chris was talking about this can make or break a company. You can have some pretty horrible experiences if you just hire your friends without realizing how a salesperson thinks. Now, this should have clicked for me because I'm a salesperson at heart. There are personality types for salesmen that you gotta look for. So the first thing he talked about is introvert or extrovert. Introverts sell better. You might think, why is that? It's just how it is. Introverts naturally build a better connection. They're not, it's just kind of where the study goes. So if you're looking for that personality type, that's one, introvert. The other one is people that are naturally outgoing. You got to remember that these are people that you have to be friendly to. You have to build a connection with. You want the client to feel like, oh, we have a relationship. We could have something, because relationships kill objections. So if you have someone who's like, hey, it's so lovely to meet you. Let's take a lap around the house and can show you like all the services we do, and then we can get you a quote on that. If they bring energy, and they're like, you know, instead of being like, yeah, the windows are gonna cost that much. Yeah. Like, you can tell the difference on, I care about you and I wanna work with you, versus I am here for a transaction. You can find someone that cares, who's outgoing, and more on the introverted side. That's a salesman. The other thing is, and this is separate from Chris Johnson, I learned this at my event I went to in Arizona, is salesmen are inherently selfish people. Not the bad selfish we think of. You have to remember that a salesman's based on commission. And so you being like, you're going to go out for 8 hours and you make money based off your commission. Salesmen are naturally just a little bit more selfish. They have a little bit more of a then they have to. It's what it is. It's not a bad thing. Like, this is not bad selfishness. This is just a trait that you have to have, versus a leader, more of that leader role, where you can't be as selfish. You have to make sure you're more You take care of everyone, you build everyone up, where a salesman's got to be, they have to have that. They have to have that almost delusional belief that they can sell anyone. That comes from that selfishness. Different type of selfishness than you might think of. It took a little bit for me to wrap my head around, but once you really think about it, it makes sense. So the other thing is, he was talking about his effective marketing tips. This wasn't a shocker to me. The problem is with Vermont is, we'll go into it actually a little bit later. So he says the number one is, if you have more time than clients, door knocking is the way to go. Totally agree with this. And what I thought was interesting is that he says, don't even door knock. Just do flyers. Don't even knock on the door. And the reason I thought this was interesting is because if you know a flyer like ours has a 3% hit rate, and you're knocking on doors and you're giving them the flyers, yeah, you're building the connection, but instead of doing 100 houses in an hour, you might do 20. So within those 100 houses, I know I have 3 jobs. Statistically, I have 3 jobs. Versus door knocking, where 20 jobs, you can totally get 20 no's in a row. That is totally possible. Now, if you're a good salesman, you're going to be like, 20 jobs, I'm not letting it happen. I'm not letting that happen either. I'm selling every single one of those houses. That's the delusional belief you have to have going into it. But it can happen where you just don't sell for an hour. Where he says you should use the flyers more because your time is more valuable. You want to hit as many homes as possible because you also need to get your name out there. Because when you have more time than you have customers, that means that your funnel is really small. And you need to get and one way to get that funnel bigger is to get your reach bigger. So you have to get more people to know about your business. That's what we're doing right now. So this was really interesting for me because I'm like, okay, maybe we'll door knock a little less. And maybe when I'm doing a part of a job Gage isn't doing, he just takes the car and just drives around the whole neighborhood and flyers them up because we only have 30 minutes versus trying to get to 5 houses because you have to walk in between each one and have a conversation. Sometimes they don't answer. So this was really interesting. And then the second thing he said for people that have that more time than money and even more time than customers, but also even just later on, is yard signs. Now, yard signs are tricky in Vermont because I actually got flagged for this. You can't have them on pretty much, you can't really put them anywhere. They're very strict about yard signs here. So what I do is I was really bad at this. This is one of my biggest regrets is yard signs, is I didn't use them for about the first 3 months of the business because I put them all out. I was like, I'm going to put them at Home Depot because that's where people that care about their homes are at. Put them at grocery stores because 70% of the people we work with are single mothers. And so they go to the store and they see them like, oh, I don't have anyone to clean my home. I'm going to do that. So, but then the problem is that's not, since it's usually, it's like government owned grounds. People see them, they pick them up, they take them out. They don't stay there for more than a day in Vermont because people really care about preserving the land, which is, I get it. This is like the least business friendly state ever, but because of this, I just gave up on them, and I have like 100 of them in my garage. Instead of, now what I'm doing is I'm going to people, and when I work on their houses, I leave it outside their house for a week. I'm gonna go pick it up, so I have them and keep going. And I didn't do this for the first month, and this could have easily gotten me another 5-10 clients, which is a lot since I've only worked with 80 separate people in the first 3 months. So that was a big mistake I made. So those are the 2 he said for starting out. And then another thing that I really believe in is consistency and belief. You have to believe that you can get to this $2,000 a job. He also said you also have to remember that only about 3% of pressure washing businesses ever get to a point where their average job is $2,000. 3%. And this goes into consistency. And what one of my favorite people say, the compound effect. Not tailored to him, but you gotta remember that consistent action, we'll get into the dreamers, designers, and doers, but the compound effect is real. You do the same thing every single day. You have a routine. Maybe you post every single day. Maybe you go to the gym every single day. Everyone can agree that this is real. The problem is that we don't have people that actually do it. So if you can actually do this, you are leagues ahead. This compound effect is how we've grown so fast. A lot of this stuff is how we've grown so fast in a market that I thought was going to be a little bit saturated. And it turns out there's a ton of demand because we're consistent on being personal. We're great at communicating. We do in-person quotes, so we build that connection. There's a lot of good things that can come out of it. The last thing And what I really liked about Chris is his background. He was talking about his background, and I won't speak into it because I don't want to say anything that isn't completely true because I don't know too much about him. He did a little blurb for about 5 minutes about his life, but he talked at the end about dreamers, designers, and doers. And what I loved about this is the way he framed it is that anyone can do it. Anyone. There are a lot of business owners and celebrities that you'll see clips of and they're like, it's not made for everyone. And I completely disagree. Anyone can do this. Anyone can start a business. Anyone can build a business. Anyone can buy a business. Anyone can do that. Anyone can run it. If you need to retrain your brain to do it, you need to retrain your brain to do it because you can do it. And that's one of the reasons why I love the Elliott Group, because I feel like all my videos tie back to that. But Andy always talks about that. I'm not going to swear, but you can do it. Anyone can do it. I don't care what anyone says. All you need is, where is it? Just belief. You need a mindset shift that you can do it. Anyone can do it. Okay? That doesn't, if you need help, find help. If you need support people, find support people. Find people that are going to hold you accountable, accountability partners. Find a mentor. Mentors are a huge thing that helps me. I was too scared to start my business for 2 years because I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I want to do something I like. I'm going to wait till the summer to start. I'm going to wait for that perfect moment. And it took me 2.5 years for someone to call me in November and be like, dude, let's just start this. And I was like, you know what, screw it. Let's do it. And he helped me build that mindset shift. I don't know why I'm having a difficult time saying that, but now I know I can do it. And the stress that comes with it and everything that comes with it, I have now made my mind like perfect for being a business owner. Anyone can do this. Anyone. And I love that he said it like this. He said there are dreamers, designers, and doers. Business owners cannot be just one of these. They have to be all three of them. You have to have the dream, you have to design, and you have to do it. People who fail are just one of these. You have the dreamers. You have the designers. The doers are going to get the farthest. If you're just a doer, you're going to get the farthest, but you have to have at least these at a bare minimum to go. But I mean, a doer, if you're just a doer, you're ahead of 99% of people. People are lazy. People are really lazy. If you can actually be a doer, where you say what you're gonna do, you can have a dream, you design that dream into a brand or a business and you do it, you can do it. And so my mindset now is, oh, okay, 3%. You're telling me 3% of businesses make $2,000 average jobs. The way he phrased it was, in less than 3 months, you get a ticket price of $1,000. 2,000 takes a couple of years. Okay, a couple of years. Can my business be there? Can my business be in that top 3%? We're 3 months in. I believe we can be there. I believe we could be there in like 3 years. 2 years. I believe that next year we will double in profit and we'll double in profit again. That means that this number is going to need to double to about $1,000. And we'll have to double it again to 2,000. And we'll be there. So, yeah. Dustin, thank you for recommending this to me. And everyone else, thank you for watching.